Wandering Winder here, continuing my look at openings, and today we want to look at Mandarin, which is probably quite a weird thing to think about opening. So the first thing is, let's see if I can't cycle around to a case where if you have 5 coppers, you can open Mandarin, and then you still have 5 again the next turn. So you could get another Mandarin, or you could get another 5. Um, in that case, I would almost never recommend doing this. You could probably construct some case where getting a Mandarin or two in this situation is worth doing, but it's incredibly rare. I really, really would not recommend doing this. It looks nice, but the thing is, you're anti-cycling yourself a turn. So if I open Mandarin on turn 1 and then get another 5 cost on turn 2, I'm going to have 2 coppers on turn 3. I won't be able to see that other 5 cost that I got until turn 4 at the earliest, turn 4 or 5. And yeah, that's not really significantly faster than if I would have opened silver silver and grabbed the 5 cost probably on turn 3 or 4. And in particular, it's a turn slower than I would if I would have just not gotten the Mandarin. So I really wouldn't recommend doing this in basically any situation, because just the turn that it takes where you're drawing 5 coppers again and not getting on to your better cards is really, really costly. It is a cute thing. It is a nice thing to think about. It makes you feel good about yourself, maybe for a moment, but it's not going to help you win games very often at all. Um, so I would recommend against doing this, and if you never do it, you're not losing much percentage. However, there are other things to think about with openings that deal with Mandarin. So if we open silver silver, and in this case, unlike most of the other cases, it matters that it's silver silver, and you would wake up with a hand that is silver and 3 coppers. You could Mandarin here and cycle through one more card. Now, if this last card in our hand right now was an estate, we've already seen 2 of our estates. This would guarantee us hitting 6 next turn. If there is some particularly great 6 on the board, and especially also if the rest of our options are quite weak, so we need to pretty much not have a very good 5, then taking Mandarin and trying to spike 6 the next turn is something that you could consider on a hand that's silver, copper, copper, copper estate. More to the point, if you have silver, silver, copper estate, then you can cycle a little bit further even, not just 1 card but 2, hit 6 the next turn, and potentially hit 7. You could do this on this hand too if the silver is one of the last 2 cards, but it's a 50-50. And if only one of these is a copper, again, it's a 50-50. You might have to do it again the next turn, and that really gets sketchy. But the silver, silver, copper, estate hand, you're going to hit 6 the next turn. If you've already seen your other estate, and quite possibly even if you haven't, you're very well. If you've already seen the other estate, you're guaranteed to see 7 the next turn. If you haven't seen the other estate, it's still likely. So if like inheritance is on the board and you really want to spike it, you can think about this. Although again, I want to caution, I would really not do this very often. You need a very strong 6 or a very, very strong 7. Like I wouldn't do this for Forge almost ever, even though that's a very strong 7. I wouldn't do this for King's Court almost ever, even though that's a very strong 7, because my hand is a King's Court, a Mandarin, and a bunch of treasures. The King's Court isn't actually good in that deck. I'd rather buy actions instead and get to 7 that way. So it's very rare for this to be a good play on turns 3 and 4. But if the board is weak and there is a particularly strong 6 or 7, it is something to have in your back pocket to just get you that little edge in those rare, rare cases where it comes up. But again, it's more of a cute thing than a good thing. And I tend to not recommend buying Mandarin like this because the anti-cycling of having to put these treasures back on your deck tends to be quite a potent downside. Thanks for watching.